Hello everyone, my name is Gabby, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super review. This time reviewing episode 46. Goku and the copy Vegeta begin to fight. They seem almost about equally matched, but if Goku doesn't beat the copy in time, Vegeta will be erased from existence. Potage explains that they might be able to weaken the copy by destroying the core of the superhuman water, but they aren't able to do it, just like it looks like Vegeta is about to disappear for good. The superhuman water uses that distraction to try and absorb Trunks, but Vegeta steps in the way, attempting to sacrifice himself to save his son. Just at that moment, Monica wakes up and accidentally steps on the water's core, weakening the water and the copy. Goku uses that opportunity to defeat copy Vegeta for good, saving Vegeta's life. Potake seals the superhuman water up again and thanks everyone for their help, and they all return to Earth safely. And in a ruined city, a familiar face is running through in a panic. So, what did I like about this episode? Well, first of all, the fight between Goku and Copy Vegeta. I mean, really, if you think about it, it wasn't exactly like the best or most interesting fight in the world, but I was kind of expecting like this fight to be absolutely terrible, just kind of judging on, well, first of all, the fact that this is a filler arc, also judging on the quality of the previous episode, and also just the fact just some of the stuff from I saw for the preview. I thought this fight was not going to look very good at all, and it's definitely not the best Dragon Ball Super has to offer, but it's nowhere near the worst Dragon Ball Super has to offer either. Like, the fight was alright, it felt like they had some good stuff in there, it felt like they did put some time and effort into it, and they had time and effort to put into it, so it means that at least these fights and these arcs aren't all going to be completely forgettable. I know, saying that the fact that the fight, it doesn't look totally awful is actually a positive is kind of sad if you think about it, but just considering how difficult and ridiculously, how convoluted this entire production schedule of Dragon Ball Super has been, for me it's like every time they manage to get their act together to produce stuff that looks good, I'm just happy and I'm satisfied, and it makes me think that maybe somehow things will kind of start improving in some way and we won't get like terrible episodes. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but it makes me hope. I also really liked Vegeta in this episode. There were actually just a lot of really good Vegeta moments and things some I found entertaining and some I found kind of emotional. So the entertaining part was basically Vegeta looking at this fight just kind of really conflicted, because he's like, on the one hand, I want to see myself beat Kakarot in some way, even if it's just like a copy of me. But on the other hand, I want to make sure that Kakarot wins because I don't want to die, and I might die if this copy beats Kakarot. So I don't know what to think. And it's like, it was just really funny. And then eventually he starts like kind of chewing out both sides of the battle, sort of saying like, and giving advice to both sides to the point that everyone's just like, wait, what side are you on? And I thought that was entertaining, and I thought that was a way of really just sort of integrating Vegeta's character into this fight. It's not just like, they could have just been like, it's like, look, it's like rematch between Goku and Vegeta, but then they kind of explored what Vegeta would think about this, so I found that pretty interesting. And then there was also, in terms of the emotional moment, was the part where the superhuman water is going to try and absorb Trunks to get more power, and then Vegeta steps in the way and tries to like sacrifice himself. It makes him lose the thing that he was using to like stop himself from disappearing, so then he like immediately starts disappearing and he was like going to die. It was just I just really loved that moment, which is strange because the last time there was like a really big dramatic Vegeta cares about his family moment in episode 7, I didn't really like it. But I guess this moment I liked it because it wasn't really retelling a movie, it was something original they did. And I just really liked the way they handled it. Like the part where like Vegeta and Trunks like trying to reach out, and then Vegeta, because he's like kind of incorporeal, Vegeta's hand just kind of goes through him. And it's just like, and like the way the Trunks reacts, and he's just like, no, Papa, Dad, no. And just Vegeta's like face, where his expression, he's just this smile and being like, yep, this is how I'm going to go out. This was a last minute decision, but I've accepted this. I'm fine with this. I'm all right with sacrificing myself for people I care about. I just really loved the moment. I mean, it didn't really mean anything, and you could say that maybe it's just a poor man's rip-off of like the Majin Vegeta sacrifice, but it's a bit different because like, first of all, it's like the whole thing is just like this kind of last minute, like spur of the moment sacrifice, kind of like how Piccolo sacrificed himself for Gohan, like twice now with the same sort of way. And also secondly because, well, Vegeta doesn't actually die in the end because he gets saved just last moment kind of accidentally. But either way, I just really loved that moment. It was something that was unique for Super, but it was something that they handled well, and it did kind of make sense, and it made me kind of be like, oh, this is so, I loved this, I just loved this. I would totally want to see more like this. like only in dramatic moments when it makes sense. But either way, yes, more stuff like this. And then I liked how the fact that the supporting cast were doing something and did do something relevant in this episode. And it wasn't just like, okay, if you're going to just leave this up to Goku, we're not doing anything. Instead, they go on an adventure to try and find the core of the superhuman water and destroy it, which would weaken the core, like not destroy it flat out, but it would weaken it so that Goku could like to finish this guy off in time, and then he can go and actually save Vegeta's life. Like, last episode I was saying I was getting really annoyed because of just realizing just how big the gap in power between Goku and Vegeta and the rest of the supporting cast is. But this is the way you alleviate that. You make it so that the supporting cast can be relevant even if they're not like the most powerful characters, because you make them do other things that are important to the battle but don't necessarily involve fighting or being the strongest. Like this. Or like something like Yajirobe cutting off Vegeta's tail in like the Saiyan saga. As for what I didn't like about this episode, well, first of all, just a kind of aesthetic complaint. I thought Copy Vegeta's design looked pretty ugly as it was, but then just giving him blue hair with the purple skin makes it look even more ugly. I mean, I know this is just a filler, villain, whatever. It's not even that important. But guys, seriously, couldn't you have at least given him a different color other than purple? Something that would have looked better when they gave you blue hair later on, maybe? I don't know. Also, I didn't really enjoy the, Vegeta pacifier joke because, the key to the superhuman water that he had to suck on looked just like a pacifier, and that was the joke. I guess that was probably something they're doing since the very beginning, since the moment that we realized it was shaped like a pacifier, but I don't know, I just thought the joke wasn't really that funny. It's not that I don't like Vegeta getting humiliated. Honestly, those moments are actually pretty great, but I think this one just fell a little flat. I don't know, it felt like they were just trying to force the joke a bit too much, I think. And while it is pretty funny that once again Monica kind of saves the day sort of accidentally, I kind of wished Goten and Trunks had had a bit of a bigger role because they were kind of pretty important in the first episode, and I like Goten and Trunks and I wanted them to be a bit more relevant, maybe have them destroy the core or something, but that's a bit of a nitpick. As for next episode, well, of course, come on guys, I know you guys were probably just waiting just so you could see, you probably just skipped ahead to the part where I said as for next episode, because we've got a new arc and new everything. Future Trunks coming back, Mai is there for some reason, Future Bulma, some enemy, something. They changed the music for the next episode preview to make things look darker and more serious, which makes me think this new arc is going to be darker and more serious, and it's starting next week. It's kind of surreal. We're getting to a new arc that doesn't have a manga to base itself on this time. Well, I mean, it wasn't based on the manga, but the manga chapters for the Universe 6 tournament came out first, a few of those. But, so yeah, I'm just this is new stuff, and we don't know what's really going on, and I'm actually really excited. I don't really care too much about the speculation, because, guys, we're going to find out a lot about this next week already, but yeah, this is a new arc. It looks awesome. I hope it's awesome, because if it's not awesome, I don't know, I feel like people are going to start, actually get, dropping Super for real if it's not good, so I really hope it's good. So that was Dragon Ball Super episode 46. Last week I was saying that if this episode wasn't good, then, I needed this episode to be good to kind of try and redeem this arc, and I've got to say I think it succeeded. It was just a lot more interesting, and I feel like the storyline in this episode was a bit more interesting, and they were actually developing the concept of having Goku fight a copy of Vegeta. I'd say they developed that pretty well. Maybe Goku wasn't really that important, maybe Goten and Trunks didn't really do that much in the end, but this arc was only 3 episodes long. There's only so much you can put in. So in the end, my kind of conclusion to this arc is it's not the worst filler arc they've ever done, although at the same time, it's not particularly worth watching unless you really maybe Vegeta Kid Trunks moments, or you really like Goku Vegeta rematches. There's not that much of substance to this filler arc, and they didn't really do that much interesting, but they did put in some stuff that I at least found enjoyable. So it's not a complete waste of time. Of course, at this point, I think everyone's already gotten sick of this filler arc already. They just want to get to next week when we get to a completely new, entirely new Future Trunks arc. Everyone's excited, I'm also very excited, and I'm just really hopeful that this arc will turn out to be good in some way, to at least be salvageable. I'm just praying. I'm also praying that this is going to be the arc where things actually get just really, really good. I don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll see. I'm just hoping. I'm just really hoping. So this is Gabby, signing out, and I'll see you all next week. Bye guys!